Hey guys, I'm going to do a review for your first chapter 1 test in math today. This is for 7th grade math, and it is chapter 1, sections 1, 2 to 1, 5. It's just the first half of chapter 1. And I'm going to just review things that we've talked about this whole year so far. And so please take notes and please watch this video more than once if that helps you, because I want you to do really awesome on the test. So, the first thing we're going to review is absolute value. And absolute value is simply the distance a number is from 0. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if I draw a number line is just a line that goes forever in both directions. And we usually see 0 in the middle. And then to the right, we'll see positive numbers. And to the left, we'll see negative numbers. So I'm going to show you some examples of absolute value. So the first example is the absolute value of -3. When you see those two bars, that means absolute value. And since absolute value is the distance a number is from 0, I'm going to plot -3. That means I'm going to put a dot right where the -3 is on the number line. And I'm going to count how many hops it is over to -3 from 0. 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of -3 is 3 because it took us 3 hops to get there from 0. Let's do another one. Let's do the absolute value of 5. So I'm going to plot 5, and then I'm going to see how many hops does it take me to get to 5 from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. The easiest way to think about absolute value is it's always going to be a positive number in your answer because you're telling me how many hops it is to get to 0 from that number. So if it's negative, it's going to be positive, that number, and if it's positive, it's going to be positive of that number because we hop in positives, not negatives. Let's keep going. So the next thing on the test is going to be ordering integers from smallest to biggest. So if you need to draw out a number line to help you do this, I hope you do this on the test. This is going to help you be successful. So you want to do everything you can to be successful on a test. So if that means drawing something out or showing your work, I hope you do it. So 1, 2, 3, just numbering my number line right now to help me. And sorry, I'm being a little bit sloppy. Sometimes my numbers don't come out. I don't know why. Okay. So this is just going to help me answer the questions more accurately. So they're going to give me a bunch of integers and I'm going to have to put them in order from smallest to biggest. So here's my integers. They're going to give me that one's not going to work. Hold on. Okay. So I want to go from the smallest number to the biggest number in order. So I'm going to look at my numbers that they gave me, and the first thing I think is I have 2 numbers that are absolute value. That means I need to find the absolute value of them before I start putting things in order. That is important. Don't skip that step. So the absolute value of -8, how many hops is it from 0? 8. And the absolute value of -2 is 2. So now I have, I don't know why that went away, but we'll just go with it. So now I have a little bit different numbers to look at, all right? So whereas before your brain might be thinking, oh, those are negative. No, actually, if it's absolute value, those are positive numbers. So let me look for the most negative number. That means the number that is farthest this way on my number line. And with the numbers that I have left, the number that is most negative is going to be -3. And as I use the numbers, I cross them off so I don't forget or leave something out. Now I'm going to look for the next negative number. I see I have a -1, so that one has to be next. Then, of course, 0. Because 0 is in the center of my number line, dividing negatives from positives. After 0, now I'm just looking at positive numbers, so I can look at the smallest positive and go to the biggest positive. So the smallest positive I have left is 2. And then I see 7. And then I see 8. So that would be putting my numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay, the next section is very similar to that section, and it's just comparing two numbers. It's going to be comparing negatives with positives. So again, I shouldn't have erased my number line. If you want to draw that number line to help yourself, you should. It's your test. You want to do the very best that you can do. So on this section, it's going to give you two numbers with a line in between. And on that line, you're going to put a greater than or less than sign. Remember, the big side is going to be open to the bigger number. The little side is going to point to the little number. So you want your chomper, your little greater than or less than sign, to eat the bigger number. So if I'm looking at -3 and 4, I see -3 is here and 4 is here. So when I plot them on the number line, you see how easy it is now to see which one is actually bigger. And I can tell 4 is bigger. Let's do some more. Let's do -5 and -2. All right, so now if I'm looking at my number line, if I plot -2 and I plot -5, which one is bigger? Bigger is going to be closer to 0 or closer to the positive numbers. And I can easily see that -2 is closer to the positive numbers than -5 is. Let's do another one. We might have some absolute value. So if I have absolute value, what do you think I should do first? I need to get the absolute value first before I can tell who's greater or who's less. So that's my first task. The absolute value of -2, how many hops is it from 0? 2. And the absolute value of +2, how many hops is it from 0? 2. I have 2 and 2. So what sign am I going to use now? Equals. That one is an equal to, okay? All right, let's keep going. The next section tells me some values of variables. Okay, it's going to say a equals 2 and b equals -3. It's giving me this in the directions. Then it's going to give me a little problem to plug those numbers into. So it might say, what is 3 plus a? solve that. So I'm going to take what A equals and plug it in for that A. So that makes this expression 3 plus 2, and 3 plus 2 is 5. How about this one? Absolute value of A plus B. So this one may look a little scary, but it's not bad, don't worry. So I'm going to plug in, again, whatever A and B equals. So A is 2, and B is negative 3. Now when I have absolute value bars around a problem, I have to solve what's inside the bars first before I take the bars off. So I'm looking at this problem and I see 2 plus negative 3. I know that when the signs are different, you subtract, and 3 minus 2 is 1, but the answer takes the sign of the bigger number, and 3 is bigger and it's negative, so I'm going to have a negative 1. But put the bars back on because we haven't done anything with those bars yet. All we did was solve what was in the middle of them. So now I'm going to take the bars off. How far is negative 1 from 0? It's 1. So the answer to that question is 1. All right. Then it's going to ask you, tell me if the answer is positive or negative. And it might give you some problems like negative 5 plus 2. Now you don't have to solve this problem. All you have to do is tell me, is the answer positive or negative? While I'm looking at this, I see the signs are different, so I would subtract. The answer will take the sign of the bigger number. Which number is bigger? 5. And 5 is negative. So the answer to this problem would be negative. And what if we had this one? Well, both my numbers are positive, so guess what? My answer is going to be positive. So on this section, all you have to do is tell if the answer is going to be positive or negative. All right, then you have 10 problems of adding and subtracting integers. So remember your rules. If the signs are the same, you add. If the signs are different, you do what? Subtract. I hope you said it. Whoops, that's not an S. Okay, now when the signs are the same and you add, the answer keeps the sign. But when the signs are different and you subtract, remember, answer takes the sign. Sorry, this is messy. But I know you already have these notes written down somewhere, so hopefully you're looking at them right now. Of the bigger number. So as long as you remember these rules, listen, I say them so much in my videos and in class because the more I say it, the more you're going to hear my voice in the middle of a test, okay? You're going to be like, ooh, signs are different. When the signs are different, you subtract. The answer takes the sign of the bigger number. I know you're going to hear me. That's why I keep repeating it. So please study it, remember it, say it out loud yourself to help you remember better. And so this section is just going to be adding and subtracting integers. So you're going to have negative 6 plus 4, and you're going to have to solve that for me. So I can tell the signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2.